It's a Win Tickets Wednesday coming up in 5 days. Don't miss your chance to win big every week on the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up Wednesday, you're going to be able to win tickets to step into the magic at Holiday Lights at the ballpark at America First Square. A brand new immersive holiday tradition opening on November 14th. Reserve your tickets at the ballpark at afs.com and listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day Wednesday for your chance to win.
I'm intrigued by that lights thing, and I'll probably go check it out. I think it is somewhat of an oxymoron to say brand new tradition, but I'll roll with it. I'm fine with it.
I've seen some of those deals. I think you stay in your car, you drive through the parking lot. Yeah. Don't know what this one looked like.
Right.
So everyone's a little different.
Hence I'm intrigued.
This one's a walkthrough.
Yeah,
one.
because
it's
it's going to be
walkthrough.
at the stadium.
Yeah, it's actually at the stadium, but
Right.
it's supposed to be similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll look great.
DJ PK and David Locke join us, radio voice of the Utah Jazz. David, good morning.
David James, Patrick Canahan, a Friday morning. How did I ever get so lucky in life to get to do this
Good question.
every single week?
We begged. David, please come on again Friday and drop Jazz knowledge on us.
And you paid me the same every single time I've ever done it, which is the most incredible part about it.
We're consistent.
You need more money? Mod on.
All right, David, I think the obvious question here is Walker Kessler, labrum surgery, no shot blocker at the rim. For all the Jazz fans out there, and trust me, we are hearing from them on social media on a regular basis, who are worried about holding on to that draft pick and not giving it to Oklahoma City. Does this injury pretty much guarantee that? Is Walker worth 5, 6, 7 wins? What do you think?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I think that they built the entire defense on this idea of let's get good at something, which is to take away the rim, and that was kind of Will Hardy's thing for the years. We're gonna take away the rim, and now the guy that can do that, because Nurkic can't do it, and Kevin Love can't do it, and Kyle Kolpowski can't do it. The guy is not there. So, and then the other thing that they really built the defense on this year was pressuring, having an impact on the ball, which is kind of blitzing. They were blitzing the most of any team in the league on a pick and roll. And Walker can do that, but Nurkic can't really do that. He'll try, but it takes him a long time to recover back to the rim. Secondary shot blockers are going to become wildly important. I think Kevin Love can do that, but I'm not totally sure. I mean, you can do it. Like, they'll try, but it's not. You really need some real athleticism to get back, to be able to get back to the middle or get back to your guy when you're playing 2 out at 35 feet. And so, yeah, no, it's really not great. Like, usually you can find some sort of well, this or well, that. No, this was just bad. Like, it's bad for Walker's development. He had worked so hard, and it's got to be super disappointing for him. The one I'm most bothered by, I think it's really bad for Keontae's development, because I think Keontae needs to run a lot of pick and rolls to become good at this. It takes 4,000 pick and rolls for a guard to become a high-level pick and roll guard in the NBA, and Keontae is not there yet, and he's at about 3,000, and Walker last year, I think, ranked 69th out of 71 bigs on pick and roll. Well, that's not good. Now, some of that's because Keontae and Isaiah weren't very good, but he needs to get better at that too, and he doesn't have a chance to do it. So, there's no other way to say it. Like, it just sets back a lot of different things, and it's not great. And it's too bad. And, Walker's been dealing with this started last year, and then I think opening day of training camp, I heard. And then, I think we saw in the preseason game and the game after that. So it clearly was reoccurring. And, you can try to play through it for a while, like in a sense of, not getting worse per se, but it's happening all the time. And it wasn't happening weirdly. That's what jumped out to me the last time. I was like, oh, crap. He was just going for a ball. It wasn't like he got hit. It was anything strange. He was just going for a ball the same way you always do. And if it's happening then in the ball in your shoulders moving around because of it, then you got issues.
Sure. What do you think it does for his future, because the Jazz there with the contract and all that stuff?
So strangely, and I might be wrong on this, I think it has almost no impact. Like, this league's not This league does not have a problem paying players coming off injury, right? We all kind of know you're going to get hurt. He's not going to shrink. We know exactly who it is. I think we have, a number in our head of what we, being the Jazz, have a number in their head of what they want to pay Walker. They didn't want to pay him. It's not that they didn't want to pay Walker. They didn't want to pay Walker then because it had an impact on the long-term salary cap. So that's really what that was about. And then part two of that is, like, I still think that number is the same. I don't think it changed anything. The only thing, I guess, is that for Walker, if he'd had a monster year and that number goes from somewhere in the $20 million to $30 million range, and that just went out the window. So that's super disappointing for Walker. But I don't think, what is it, a 4-year, $100+ million deal? Like $100 million deal or something like that? I think that's kind of probably where we are. And that's where we kind of were at the start, frankly.
With him out, are there some young guys? I mean, is it more Filipowski? Is there a chance they try to find somebody? Although I don't know how you would do that. Or is it just, well, Nurkic was on the roster for this reason, so he'll play more, and they'll try to develop young guys around him?
I mean, the Colin Sexton trade suddenly looks like not like better in the sense of but thank goodness, right? Like, if we'd gone in the year deciding Kyle Filipowski was our backup center, and then all of a sudden he was our starting center, that would have been really bad. So first thing is roster management. If I understand this correctly, I'm not great at this anymore. I kind of feel like I've lost some of this knowledge over 2 collective bargaining agreements that have happened. But so we have 15 players that are guaranteed on a roster right now. So I keep hearing Mo Bamba, but Mo Bamba's not a property of the Jazz. He just happens to play for the Stars. But it's not like minor league baseball. You can't just call somebody up. No. So we would have to cut someone. I don't think we want to cut anyone, not only because Kyle, George, and Kevin, who you would cut, have been amazing for the team and the roster, but you also don't want to cut their salaries. If you're going to make any type of trade, we've gotten rid of all our salaries. So you need somebody on the roster. I think Kyle makes 8 and George makes 6 and Kevin makes 4. If you're going to make a trade and go get a player that you want or trade draft picks for a player or I don't know, whatever it might be, you need that flexibility. If you go release a player so you can have a center, well, they bring him in that you just lost. If you release Kyle Anderson, you lose $8 million of trade possibilities. So you really don't want to do that. So they're really limited. I am concerned, and it's going to happen. So this would be just another negative. I just don't think Kyle Filipowski is a center. I think the number we should all be talking about with players is their reach, not their height. Mm-hmm. And his reach is only 8'11". And 8'11", that's the same as Taylor or Ace. And we don't think of Taylor and Ace as centers. It's just the fact that Kyle's neck is long. That his neck height gets into 7'1", but his arm height doesn't.
Over here?
Yeah, right. So
Pace Mannion. Ask Thurl.
Yeah. So I think that we just have to be a little I just don't. I guess I'll just say it. I don't. Maybe he will. I'm let's hope I'm wrong and he's right, or he is able to do it. It'd be great. I just don't think Kyle can defend a center. I think actually Kyle offensively might be a center. Kind of reminds me a lot of John Collins at this point, where he's offensively one position, defensively another position, and it's super hard to get him to do both at the same time. And so I guess Kyle will end up playing center at some point this year because Kevin Love will probably miss some games and Nurk will miss some games, and that's the next one in line. And it's probably better than Oscar Tshiebwe. But I don't love it. I think Kyle's got to figure out how to play as a 4 in the NBA if he's going to have a lengthy career.
Doesn't seem like Will Hardy has a lot of confidence or faith in Sensabaugh. What do you think he needs to do to get out on the floor?
Yeah, I think he's got to execute better defensively. He wasn't playing great offensively, unfortunately. I think you look it up. I think he hadn't played much. I don't want to I think he was 3 of his last 12 from 3, but come on, he's barely playing. Yeah, he's just got to do what I thought I saw. I went back to watch to try to figure it out. So he and Walt had a real hard time on small switches there. There's a real lack of physicality, communication. Things went wrong on those. So I think there were some real miscommunications. And then he's just got to, stay in front of his guys all the time. Like that's what literally teams are just putting their head down driving on us. And we've got to make it so that we can defend the ball a little bit at least.
This is 3 and 5.
We're the worst. There's two ways to look at this, right? Like, I always love this. So we're the worst 3-point shooting team in the league right now, and our best 3-point shooter's not playing. So either one of two things. Either one, everyone involved is a complete idiot, which seems pretty unlikely, or wow, he really must not do some other things well that we don't entirely see naturally because of the fact that, obviously his skill set is the one we need more than any other, and we're not playing him.
Right.
Is this 3 and 5 start surprising you, or is this the fact that the schedule has there have been a lot of bad teams on the schedule here early on, and is there a 10-game losing streak out there?
Well, we played really, really well. I'm really impressed with the effort. I'm really impressed with the coaching staff. Brought some pretty creative, different things to start the year. However, if you go look at break the season into 4 games on each side, it's a little daunting. Like if you go to Cleaning the Glass or any of these sites and look at our game-by-game offensive rating, since Portland, who kind of exposed some things, and then Phoenix, who played us twice, so they had a scouting report on us, is a little disconcerting. So I think we could have some rough. And then our rim defensive numbers since Walker's been out, I think we could have some really, really rough days ahead.
Yeah, I can understand where you're going with that. You put out a thing on X where you said about the couple of players, Trae Young and Zion Williamson, somebody else I can't remember. But were you just throwing that out, or do you think there's something there?
I'm just throwing it out. I think I'm throwing it out. I think a little bit you have to really consider these things. And then I think the next thing you have to realize is if you're not willing to do any of those 3, what are you willing to do? Okay, so you'll trade for Victor Wembanyama. That's super. Trade for Nikola Jokic, right? But if you're not going to take a right? But if you're not willing to take a troubled guy, then what's your standard of what you're willing to do? And then how much pain are you willing to take to get there, right? Because if you're not willing to take the troubled guy, then you really have to dive in long haul for the rebuild and hope guys click in. Because the good guys don't get traded unless they're Nico Harrison, and then you're just committed basketball malpractice.
This feels like digging for the long haul, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's why it's important to look at that. If you're not willing to design, and also, we have moved some of our assets, and we've used some of them. So, we are beginning to get to the point where we don't quite have as many of our, plethora of draft picks as we once had. And so you do, if you're trading 2 of your first for Ja, you don't have a lot left after that. There's also a point where we also have 3 first rounds coming up in the 2027 draft, and I think we have 2. We don't need all those, so we at some point should probably move them.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that.
I thought it worked the other way.
What?
I thought that they would look at the 9 guys they've drafted in the last 3 years and think we're going to move on from 2, 3, 4 of these guys, whatever. We're not really seeing it. And then they'd use those draft picks and go bring in some more new guys.
You would, but you don't need 3 of them. So you're right. You just don't need 3 of them on the backside of that. Yeah.
But they need a top 3 in June.
Well, I can't.
Yes.
I think we can all see that, right? Yes. Do whatever you have to get there.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And that
TK, go to work. There's 4 families that have been in the news. See if you can have an impact.
And that I don't want to say solves it because that's too strong.
But it's a huge step forward.
It is, yeah. It really would be.
Yes, it makes and then gives Ace some room to develop. His skills are incredible, but he's just still got so far to go.
Right. And so with that in mind, the type of way he's being used now, how long do you see that being the norm before it extends?
I think I just look at it in 10-game stretches. So this 10-game stretch is going to be about 18 minutes. I would guess the next one's 20. The next one after that's 23. There's probably going to be an injury 10-game stretch. Then we're up to 27, and maybe the last 10-game stretch is 30. It's kind of what I guess.
I'd take that.
Yeah.
27's enough to make an impact or show you what you got.
Yeah, I mean, his plus-minus is the worst of any player in the NBA right now, so let's understand that he's still got a lot to learn.
Oh, for sure.
You feel like he's learning it, though?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gone from one flash to 3 a night, right? Like, there were 3 or 4 flashes the other night, like, woo. And actually, the one thing I saw the other night that was really cool was specifically what they worked on shoot-around he did 3 times during the game. That's pretty good. Like, it was a very basic thing. It was They were having a tendency to swing the ball to the reverse side and then drive back into the middle where the defense is rotating from. And Will was like, you guys catch and go right away, and the defense isn't there yet. And he did it 3 times in the game the other night, so it's great. Then he does get in a little bit of trouble on the way to the basket because he's not processing how quick these guys are yet, but that's fine.
All right, we understand you got to catch a bus, David, so we better let you go.
Okay, thank you, guys.
All right, good to talk to you.
Bye.
David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, and as you would expect, he is definitely right about those numbers. The first scoring in the first 4 games versus the last 4 is basically collapsed. I mean, it's down like 20. I don't know. I can't do the math in my head there.
What are you talking about?
He was saying how teams are learning how to scout the Jazz. You know, they put in new wrinkles, whatever. You play 4 games, they get tape on you. The 5th game's Phoenix. They've already played you once, so they definitely can get dialed in. And the Jazz went from scoring about 127 points a game to scoring about 102 points a game.
Good. That's great news.
25 points down, lost 3 of the 4.
Good. You act like that's negative.
AJ, Boozer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Top 3 pick.
Yes.
There it is.
It's imperative for this whole project that they've undertaken. It absolutely is necessary. It's mandatory, man. If it doesn't happen, I don't know what to think. But if it happens, it's like happy days are here again, or they will be here again. Yes.
Top 3 should equal one big piece of the puzzle that still has to be put together. But it should be a big
You give
piece.
me Carlos' son or AJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and yes, man. I'd be ecstatic.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. And coming up next, the Peach Bowl. How'd they feel about getting a Big 12 team? Maybe one of our teams, maybe BYU. We'll talk with Gary Stoken, president and CEO of the Peach Bowl, next. Stay with us.